All right, so I have my loops on my front peg. I'm going to follow that path. The first path is always the hardest. And now I have my 4 loose threads at the front of the loom where I want the cards to be. Okay? So I'm going to grab my first card. Now I don't have to be concerned about which colored thread goes in which hole because they're all the same, right? And now you may be asking about that whole S and Z thing, that threading. I'm going to tell you, when I'm at home and I'm threading my cards, because different looms are warped differently, I just guess. I'm just going to put the threads through the card, and then I'm going to examine that card to see whether I've got an S-threaded card or a Z-threaded card. So I have my 4 threads through the holes. I'm going to apply a little tension. I'm going to look at that card. The threads are passing through in this direction, which is the middle line of our letter Z. So this card is Z-threaded. If I look at my draft, I see that my first card needs to be Z-threaded, so I guessed correctly. If I put the threads through the front printed side of these cards and I warp every card the exact same way as I did this time, I will always get a Z-threaded card. If I put the threads through the back of the card, through the non-printed side, I will get an S-threaded card. So I've threaded from the bottom. I have my 4 loose threads at the top, slid the card on, printed side through, and I have, let's just make sure, the threads are going through in the Z direction. Great. So I'm going to tie that card off. Now it's really important, this next step. You must take that loop off of that front peg. If you don't, this warp will not slide around. And as we weave, the woven part will slide under and around the pegs, leaving you more free warp to weave on. All right? So every card must follow the same path and must be free of this front peg. Now this knot should be in your handouts too. And a lot of weavers recognize it because it's the same knot they use to tie onto their cloth beam. So here we go. I have the loop up where I can see it. My fingers come in from the bottom of the loop. I have my 4 loose threads. They're going to go over the top of the loop. I'm going to grab them and pull down, separate the threads, bring them back up to the top. And this is called a surgeon's knot. It's a double overhand knot. So I go through the hole twice without making a second knot. And then to tighten it, I pull it away from me and out, away and out. All right? 1 card done, 19 to go. So, knowing that the printed side is going to be Z-threaded and the coming through the non-printed side is going to be S-threaded, I can set up my cards to help remind me to switch when the time is appropriate. All right? So I've got 1 card on. I need 2 more Z. They're going to be face up. And then I need the rest S except for the last 3. So I'm going to take my whole deck, turn it over. I'll take 3 off, turn them right side. So now I have 3, 1, 2, 3. 14 that will be S, and 3 more that will be Z. And that's just a helpful little hint to remind you, oh, I need to do something different with this card. Okay? So let's look at card 2. Card 2 has 3 green threads and 1 silver thread. All right, so I will tell you, I'm kind of a lazy person, so I'm going to go ahead and measure those 2 threads at the same time. So I need about a wingspan. Okay. So I have 1 green thread, 1 silver thread. I don't need the silver anymore, so I'm going to cut it off. But I still need 2 more green threads. Now to minimize some of the twist, especially when you take off of cones, I keep my pinky between the threads coming off the cone and the ones I have in my hand. So that's 3 threads. This will be the 4th, but I want to loop at this end. So I'm just going to tie an overhand knot. Simple overhand knot. Pull off my 4th thread. Then I'm going to cut to make sure that I have 4 open threads on this end. I have a loop on the other end. I'm ready to put it on the loom. So I take the loop, I put it over that front peg just as an anchor. It's only going to be there temporarily. I want to make sure and follow the exact same path. All right. That one's a little short, so I'll have to remember to do longer next time. But I think we can work with that. And now, not all of our threads are the same color, so I need to pay attention to which threads go in which hole. So I look at this and I go, oh, I need green, 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 silver. So A is green, B is green, C is green, D is silver. All right? So let's go ahead. And these are which threaded? They're Z threaded, so that means I go through the printed side. Again, only because that's the way I am warping this particular loom at this time. Go through B. Another green in C, and our final silver in D. All right, now there are 2 points of tension that you need to be aware of when you're warping. The first is the tension of the threads within a card. All of those threads should be the same tension, should be as tight as the others. All right? I'm going to take that loop off that front peg, bring it to the top. All right. The other point of tension is between cards. So I want whatever tension I tied the first card, I want the second card to be approximately the same tension. And again, I've got little nubbies here, so I want to make sure I measure longer next time. If I pull out and towards, or away and out, that will tighten it. And we have our second card on.